Story 1. If I'm being honest, anyone who does a relationship break should just break up. That term sounds dumb anyway. Story 2. You are either in a committed relationship or you are not. No half measures. In my opinion, a break means you are not in a relationship. I also think breaks are nonsense. Either work things out or break up. Do not act like a teenager. Story 3. Technically, no. That is the whole point of the break. But breaks are not real. Yes, breaks are a lie. They are just two angry people testing each other and being messy. Story 4. If both parties intend to eventually return to the relationship, then yes, I would consider it cheating. Story 5. In my opinion, yes, cheating. You are on a break to think things through in your relationship, not to kiss someone else. You might as well just break up first before kissing anyone. Story 6. There is no difference between a break and a breakup. I am not something you can put on pause until you decide your feelings. Severed ties are severed ties. It is like those people who break laws and then get upset when consequences happen because they only did it for a short time. How could you give me a ticket? I only parked illegally for 5 minutes. Story 7. Relationship breaks are an excuse to cheat for many. Kissing during this time is completely cheating to me. Story 8. I personally consider it cheating. I think that if you were truly interested in the person you are with, even during a break because it means you want to work things out but need space, you would not even think of kissing other people. Story 9. A break is a relationship off-ramp that allows a person to avoid a difficult in-person breakup. Think about it. You only go on a break when things are bad, and the logical progression is that you realize you are happier on the break. The rest is history. No one has ever gone on a break and missed their negative relationship at the end. That being said, yes, it is cheating. The break is meant to process feelings and see how it feels not having the other person in your daily life, not to be kissing. Story 10. What is the point of a relationship break if you are still committed? Kissing someone else or having sex with them when you told your partner you only kissed? Story 11. If the intention is to continue a relationship with someone after taking a break, then you should not be kissing anyone else. Story 12. It depends, but generally a break means you are not together, with an implication that you will think about getting back together. However, it is often used as a soft breakup or an excuse to be with someone else guilt-free. Then return to your old partner if the new relationship does not work. As a result, I do not do breaks, at least not as people commonly use the term. I tell partners that we are either together or not. If they need space to think, we can discuss that, but there is no involvement with other people while taking space. I clearly communicate expectations, and they can decide if that works or if we are breaking up. Story 13. No, it is not cheating. Cheating is a breach of the rules you have set for your relationship, and if you are taking a break, then you are not in a relationship. This is one of the reasons why I think that breaks are counterproductive and misguided. Regardless of whether it is cheating, getting physical, such as kissing or more, with another person during a break is not the action of someone who is taking reconciliation seriously. It is not an indication that the person is trying to lay the foundation to thrive in the relationship once it resumes. I would not consider it cheating, but that does not mean I would take back a person who did it. Story 14. Cheating. I am not going to read anything else, Ross. Listen, people want a Rachel, not a Ross. We were on a break. Cheating. Story 15. What is the point of a break? You broke up. That is the point of the break. If you do not want to do things with other people, why take a break at all? Story 16. Well, that depends. If your partner kissed someone else, how would you feel? Story 17. Did they kiss each other, or did one get kissed? Was the break mutual and discussed, or did you throw a fit and leave for days or weeks, telling the other it was over? Story 18. Why are you on a break versus a breakup? Choosing not to break up means you should not kiss anyone. If you are going to kiss someone else, just break up. I do not understand the half measure. Story 19. Is a relationship break like a summer vacation? Doing things you wouldn't otherwise do? The very thought that one person needs a break shows a misunderstanding of what it means to be in a relationship. Cannot always be positive. You cannot have 100% love all the time. It fluctuates. The reason people say cheating is a choice is because of this. You choose to be with one person and commit. Anything else is just an excuse. You might as well break up if you are looking for time outside of the relationship. Story 20. Relationship breaks are for the weak. Move on with your life and have as much or as little safe sex as you want, but this will only hurt the other person if they find out, which they will. Story 21. A break is to work on oneself. This does not include hooking up with another man or woman. I would consider that cheating. Otherwise, you should have just broken up and moved on. Story 22. Breaks are just a breakup done messily anyway, so it does not matter. But no, if you are on a break, you are single, so kissing someone else is okay. Unless you specifically agreed not to fool around during the break, in which case you are not actually on a break. Story 23. It's not cheating, but it would still hurt the other person. Since it is a break, the other person should ignore what happened during that time, assuming it was mutual. Consider it as part of the period before we were together, but keep it in a more clearly defined category. Story 24. Relationship break is not a fixed term with fixed rules. Like every relationship has a set of rules you define together, you also have to define what that break means to both of you. You cannot pause a relationship without setting boundaries and rules. When you do not talk about what the break means, then cheating is whatever your partner considers cheating. Story 25. If you are thinking about how far the line goes, you have already stepped over it. Breaks do not cancel respect. They just test if it was ever real to begin with. Story 26. The point of a break is to do some self-reflecting. It is not a hall pass. This is especially true if the person instigating the break is the same one trying to make out with someone the second an opportunity arises. Story 27. As someone who had 2 breaks in the same relationship during high school, our first "give me a break" we thoroughly discussed beforehand if we could pursue other people and decided that no, we could not because it would be cheating. Basically, communication before someone does something. Story 28. I think it is morally unfaithful, but I asked my therapist one day, and she told me very clearly that if they were separated for even a week, they were separated, and it is not infidelity. Story 29. This completely depends on the couple and if they discuss terms beforehand. I personally know my partner would see this as cheating, but I know another couple that would not mind and had breaks before where such things happened. Story 30. To me, a break is just some space. If you intend to get back with this person, that was a pretty big risk you took. Story 31. Middle school type of problem. Everything about that situation is so immature that I have no further thoughts on it. Story 32. If I take a break at work, I am not expected to start a job somewhere else. Although I think relationship breaks are unnecessary, to me they mean that you are not actively investing in your relationship but are still in a relationship and expected to uphold its boundaries. Breaks are a respite from work, not an excuse to do whatever you want. Story 33. It depends if you all have talked about this before going on the break. If you have not, then yes. Also, if the break is for you all to eventually get back together, why would you want to kiss someone else? Story 34. Cheating is defined differently in each relationship because it is based on agreed upon boundaries. If you feel guilt, shame, or feel the need to keep it a secret, then it is cheating. Story 35. Relationship break is unwise. There is no such thing as that. Either you are together or not. That is all. You already know the answer to your question. Story 36. It is not cheating, but it is definitely showing your former partner that you are not particularly interested in getting back together. Story 37. My ex invited her male friend over for a sleepover at our house, where I lived. She took a break a week before he arrived, kissed him while he was staying over, and then used being on a break as an excuse after I checked her messages and found inappropriate sexting. She is deplorable, and that behavior is unacceptable. Spending time apart is fine, but a relationship cannot be ended temporarily. I learned that the hard way. Story 38. A relationship break is a breakup, no matter what you call it or what rules are put in place. You are both officially single, free to do what you want, including kissing someone else, so it is not cheating. Adults having these little relationship breaks are quite juvenile in my opinion. Story 39. I think breaks in a relationship are simply a transitional phase to a real breakup to ease into it, to be honest. I can imagine it must hurt if it happens, and personally, I do feel it shows a lack of respect and commitment. But I think the most important thing is to communicate and set boundaries before the break. Story 40. I feel like if you do not exclusively communicate with each other, then it would not count as cheating. The only relationship breaks I have seen work are the ones where they communicate exactly what they are looking for from the break. Story 41. We had that talk once. I said that having sex is fine. My girlfriend said it is cheating. We started asking every other couple we knew. Current count stands at 19-1 in favor of having sex being fine. In my opinion, a relationship break is essentially a breakup, and usually only one person suggests it while the other accepts it for the sake of an easier breakup. Story 42. Relationship breaks are just breakups with extra steps. Taking time for yourself is fine. Asking for space to think about things is fine. That is how adults handle difficult times. However, a break is often just a poor excuse to build a way out. If you kiss someone else during a break, it means you at least acknowledge the reality of the situation. You are single. Story 43. I had a break with my ex. He went and had a relationship with his friend instead. In my opinion, it never works, and yes, it is cheating if you have agreed with your partner not to do such things. It depends on the terms you have agreed on, but usually it means not touching, having sex, or anything related to another person. Story 44. I read this post a while back, so I will just sum it up. Cheating in a relationship can mean different things to different people. In some relationships, watching pornography alone is considered cheating, yet there are relationships where watching your partner with multiple partners while you are restrained is not considered cheating. There are rules in all relationships. Find out where your boundaries are. Story 45. Relationship breaks are just the coward's way of breaking up. So no, it is not cheating. You are not taken anymore. You are single and can do whatever you like. Story 46. Honestly, yes and no. I say no because technically you all were not together, but most people who propose a break usually want to explore other options while keeping that person around in case those other options fail. Story 47. Relationship break is essentially a breakup. If anyone offers this to you, just say no and do the breakup then. Someone will get their heart broken when they find out about your significant other having sex or seeing someone during this break. It is better for everyone to do a full breakup at that point. Story 48. There is no such thing as a break. You are together or you are not. I suggest there is always more to it. Relationship length, how soon, each party's perception of that relationship status, and so on. Story 49. A break is meant for time to be alone and rethink, not to go out and kiss someone else. I personally do not believe in breaks, and if you need a break, you should just break up. You do not get a break in marriage, so why do you need a break in a relationship? Story 50. You're either in a relationship or you are not. That is not to say you cannot spend time apart from each other. Everyone needs their own space, but while you are apart, you are either still in a relationship or you are not. Whether kissing someone who is not your romantic partner is considered cheating depends entirely on the specifics of your relationship and the context of the situation. Personally, I could not care less if my partner kisses someone else, regardless of the situation. So, in my relationship, I do not consider it cheating. Would your partner feel betrayed if you kissed someone else? If they would, then you cheated. Story 51. Relationship break usually means one partner wanting to see if they can find a better partner while keeping the option to return to the previous partner if they do not. Story 52. Relationship breaks are a waste in my opinion. If you need to do that, just break up completely. To answer the question, yes, I think it is cheating if you both have the intention to get back together. Really, though, if you both love each other and want the relationship to work, you will not want a break. Story 53. If you are on a break, you are already broken up. Them kissing someone else means they think they can do better. If they get rejected, they crawl back, and you would have to have no self-esteem to take them. So honestly, I could not care less because we are not getting back together anyway. Story 54. Relationship breaks never end well anyway. I would be hurt, to be honest, very hurt. At the same time, I don't think I would do a relationship break. It's either we're done for good or we work it out. We're not just not talking so you can go kiss other people. Story 55. There is no such thing as a relationship break. You broke up, so therefore it is not cheating. It is a communication issue. Talk to each other about exclusivity while you discuss the break. If you say yes, let us stay exclusive, you are just spending time apart. It is not a break. If you do not talk about it, then the assumption is that it is just a breakup. Story 56. A relationship breakup is not a thing maybe to literal kids but not mature adults. Either you are broken up or you are not. Story 57. A relationship break should be a time for clearing heads, stepping back from triggers, and allowing time and space to think critically about how you want to proceed. Getting involved romantically with someone else will only muddy, not clear, the waters. Story 58. My opinion is that it is not. I think that a break means both people agree to be separated for a set amount of time, and no matter what happens, they have both consented to not being together during that period. Story 59. It is best to define that upfront. I would be fine with a kiss if they were transparent and we had a discussion about it. I value communication, so they would have to explain how it made them feel. They are mostly seeking validation and exploring options. I think that is perfectly understandable, as it provides helpful information in deciding to stay or go. It is better to figure that out now than later. I would draw the line at sexual intimacy. Story 60. At that moment, a relationship break becomes a breakup. It is cheating if you do not say anything and get together after the break. Story 61. Going back to the relationship after the break without being fully upfront about what happened would constitute cheating in my opinion. Story 62. It is not considered cheating. This is because cheating only occurs during a committed relationship when two people are loyal to each other. Any break is actually a breakup. If the relationship is rekindled later, then anything that occurred during the off period is null and void. If a person is unable to commit to another person, they should embrace being single. Story 63. Every time I have heard of someone taking a relationship break when I suggest they should just end it, they say, "No, trust me, it works as a tool in a relationship." Then they immediately undermine that by claiming that while it was genuine and working for them, their significant other was sleeping around or dating other people. When the break ended, the relationship lasted maybe another week. Then they go back and say, "But I had genuine intentions with the break." As if that somehow makes it work. There was a woman who spent an hour defending the idea of a relationship break to me. She initiated one, and her boyfriend found someone else while they were on the break but didn't commit to the new person before the break ended. So he returned to the relationship until the other woman was ready to be official. Rather than just ending it, he asked for a break and then broke up with her when the other woman was ready. She still believes breaks work and will defend that belief passionately. Her current boyfriend recently ignored her for 2 months, claiming, "Exams are coming, so I have to study." He took a relationship break without asking, and she is still hopelessly in love with him. I wonder how that will turn out, but I will probably hear about it directly from her. Story 64. Like everything else in a relationship between humans, it depends on the individuals involved. You and your partner need to talk and set the terms of the relationship break to avoid misunderstandings, just like in a regular relationship. Communication is essential. If you cannot do that, then perhaps it is best to end the relationship altogether. Story 65. Firstly, relationship breaks need to stop being a thing. If you have issues, you need to communicate and fix them. No one should be needing a break, and if they do, then it should be a breakup. Breaks are for people who want to look for someone new while keeping the security of the current relationship in case it goes wrong. Ignoring all that and answering the question, yes, I would see it as cheating. If the idea of a relationship break is what it is claimed to be, then there should not be anything happening with anyone else. Story 66. There is no such thing as a break in a relationship. If you love someone, you want to be with them. It is that simple. But if you really want an answer to the question, it is absolutely cheating. People who take a break usually do it to work on themselves and make a decision about what they are going to do. So there is no excuse for a person to go around kissing other people. Story 67. If you are on a break, you should discuss the boundaries between the two of you. My assumption is that a break is a break. Anything that happens while on a break is not cheating, as you are not together. Story 68. It depends on whether you want to get back with your former partner. If you do, the important thing is how they perceive the situation. If you always intended to reunite with them but initiated a break to explore other options, that is unfair and may reduce the chance of reconciliation. Consider how you would feel if the roles were reversed. Story 69. How much should someone consider a breakup or getting together and who they are kissing? I kiss people. I hug people, but that is because I love people. It would mean nothing to the relationship I was having. It is just how I feel about communicating love to humanity. I know that is not going to be popular with the Reddit crowd, but that is how I feel. Story 70. Is this a new thing? I have never been on a relationship break. It is like we are going to be apart, but I am expected not to have sex while I am more than likely going to cheat on you. Come on, people. Do not fall for that. If your boss said, "Hey, we want you to come in this week, but we are not going to pay you," you would tell them to leave immediately. Same deal. You are either all in or not. Story 71. The relationship lasted over months, possibly even years before the breakup. It is not cheating. Story 72. I do not take breaks. If you ask for a break, I will treat it as a breakup. If you want to come back, know that I did not wait for you. Story 73. Relationship break is just a break, so it is all fair game. You do not get a holiday for your relationship. You are either in or out. No middle ground. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.